Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today's video will be shorter because I couldn't find enough information about this case, and it will be about a young man who pretended to be a lawyer. Also, I would like to apologize in advance for the pronunciation of following names, so please excuse me. Legal officials in Kenya urged police to arrest a man practicing under the name Brian Mwenda. They said the man was a masquerader who had stolen the identity of a real lawyer named Brian Mwenda Twiga. Local media reported that a fake lawyer had won dozens of lawsuits despite not being trained. But let's start at the very beginning. In a world obsessed with certificates, Brian Mwenda became a paradox, a man without a law degree who allegedly stood in court, argued before judges and won. To some he was a fraud, to others he was a hero and a reflection of Africa's broken system. And Brian was a young man who dared to challenge the system. He observed, learned, and mimicked courtroom proceedings so well that even trained advocates believed that he was one of them. His alleged technique was simple yet profound confidence, preparation, and performance. He studied cases, followed procedures, and mastered the art of persuasion. He may have borrowed ropes, but not ignorance. Brian Mwenda gained international notoriety in 2023 as a fake lawyer in Kenya. The information available about him is primarily centered on the legal controversy surrounding his practice. His full name is reported as Brian Mwenda. He is accused of impersonating a genuine advocate named Brian Mwenda Twiga. Brian allegedly accessed the Law Society of Kenya LSC portal, which was set for the real advocate who was not practicing at the time, and Brian changed details like the email address and profile picture to use the account. He was arrested by the LSC Rapid Action Team and was charged with 6 counts, including forging a certificate for admission to practice law, identity theft, and uttering a false document. He has pleaded not guilty to the charges. It was widely reported that he had won all 26 cases he represented in court, but the Law Society of Kenya has not verified this claim. Despite the serious charges of forgery and identity theft, he managed to secure his release on bail and continue to represent himself as his own lawyer in court. Remarkably, he successfully argued this case, leading to his release. But the case is not over yet, and based on the information available, there is no final verdict yet. January 2024, the High Court upheld a warrant for his arrest after he reportedly vanished from court precincts during a previous session. The court directed him to present himself to police. Then a pre-trial date was set for March 11, 2024. During a hearing at Milimani Magistrate Court in Nairobi, Chief Magistrate Onyina ordered more time for the prosecution to present missing files related to that case. The matter was set for further hearing on May 22, 2025. This time, Brian is being represented by a lawyer who was unable to attend the hearing due to illness. After brief consultation between the prosecution and the defense, Magistrate Onyina rescheduled the hearing to the next available dates, June 23rd, July 3rd, and July 7th this year. But as I mentioned, the case is ongoing I was digging on the internet, but I couldn't find any information about the verdict yet. When I was working on this topic, it made me think about how slow the legal system actually works, and that the system might be really broken, because he was arrested in October 2023 and today is December 2025 and there is still no verdict. Even though the level of seriousness of this act is not the same as, for example, violent act, or maybe it's the other way around, because it's not that serious, they're taking their time. I also wanted to mention that what is special about this case is that the information on the internet are very limited, and there is almost no information about Brian as a person. There is even no information about the cases he allegedly represented. But I found he has expressed an intention to vie for a parliamentary seat in the 2027 elections. For me, it's very difficult to come to any conclusion because, as I mentioned, there is not much information on the internet. I don't even know the nature of the cases he represented and allegedly won, so it's really hard to say how much damage he did. But I still have to give him points for not being qualified and still doing the job. And he did the job so well that even lawyers didn't realize he wasn't qualified and they believed he is one of them. On the other hand, thank God he didn't try to be a doctor. Anyway, this story is really extraordinary. This case not only drew my attention, but also attention of Polish filmmaker Maciej Bochniak. Supposedly a documentary about fake lawyer is currently in development with the title The Lawyer. And finally, I would like to add a small educational note. Generally, you need to be a qualified lawyer to formally represent another person in court. However, there are exceptions. You can always represent yourself in some less formal settings like tribunals or small claims in county court. You might be represented by a lay representative who is not a qualified lawyer. And also there is something called a Mackenzie friend. It's a non-lawyer who supports someone representing themselves in court. They can provide moral support, take notes, help with paper and quietly give advice, but they cannot speak without the judge's specific permission. And that's all from today's video. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this case, if you heard about this case, and if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao!